It seems like remaking or modernizing fairy tales is a bit of a fad these days. There's nothing particularly wrong with that, as most of the fairy tales people think of, usually the Brothers Grimm versions, aren't originals themselves. Many have more ancient and much darker origins, and these dark tales are certainly what Belgium's GRIN Studios was channeling in their newest game, Woolfe: The Red Hood Diaries. Woolfe can be purchased on Steam for $9.99, and right up front I'll say I think that's a fair price. Really, this game is the epitome of a $10 game. It's a bit short and there's not a lot to praise, but not a lot to complain about either. But I will say this game is the most beautiful $10 game I've played, and in general it's very aesthetically pleasing. The audio is good, although the soundtrack is a bit short, and there's only one voice actress, and while she wasn't comically bad, the few shining moments were really dimmed by an abundance of lackluster lines. The combat was filled with lots of colorful animations that oftentimes muddied up the action, making it hard to tell what's going on. It's hack and slash action with an awkward control scheme, and the odd stealth section thrown in there. Personally, I think they should have just done away with the stealth and give you a weapon right from the get-go. The platforming portions of the game are pretty standard fare, with some more challenging and satisfying areas in the tail end of the game. However, if you're hoping or expecting for more of an unforgiving skill-based platformer like Super Meat Boy or I Wanna Be the Guy, you'll most likely be disappointed in what Woolfe has to offer. The puzzles were sometimes muddied by unclear backgrounds, but the collectibles you were after did unlock interesting content. That is, things that a geek like me find interesting. Things like anecdotes about the origin of the Pied Piper myth or other tidbits about the history of fairy tales. Story wasn't bad, as it did keep me interested for most of the game, but it ended on a cliffhanger and there was very little closure. All things considered, if the feel of the trailer and visual aesthetic appeal to you, then I recommend picking the game up. Otherwise, the mediocre gameplay may not cut it for the asking price. I'll toss a link to the trailer up on the screen as well as in the description of the video. But before I close out this video, I want to give props to GRIN, who has been serious about listening to feedback for this game. It's barely 2 weeks released, and they're already patching improvements based on feedback from fans and reviewers. Well done, GRIN. Seriously. Anyway, thanks for listening, everybody, and as always, comment, like, dislike, or subscribe and let us know what you think. Also, please check out our other work at SharcTank.com or YouTube.com/SharcTank, and remember that's a shark with a C. You know, for...